Right. Hi everybody, this is Helen, your Stampin' Up demonstrator from Bell Block in New Zealand. It's nice to be here today. The weather outside's really lovely. We've had rain for a few days, which is what we've really needed on the farm. And but it's really lovely out there today. So sun's shining and it's quite nice to see some nice weather again. Right, I see there's a couple of people coming on board, so that's great. So sorry for being late today. I had a couple of appointments and I thought I may have made it back in time for 2 p.m. And then when I was in town, I thought, no, I'm just going to not rush because that's when things go wrong and I don't get to do things I wanted to do while I was in town. So I did a few other bits and pieces and now I'm here. So, right, I'm going to put you down to my table. I'm just going to check that it's all coming through on my iPad so I can see if everyone's coming on board. I think we've got a few people coming on by the look of it and we'll get started. So I'll just put you down to the table and then I'll just check on my iPad how that is looking. So just trying to put my phone on my stand and it seems to want to move a little bit. So I don't know what's going on. Right. So as you can see, the Designer Series paper I am using is the beautiful Perennial Lavender. So I haven't used this for a while. It's one of my favourite papers in the main catalogue. And I know that we will have a new catalogue coming out in May. So I'm just making the most of this paper. So I thought I'd use some of that. And for the card I want to do today, I'm thinking, looking at some of these papers, I'm thinking I might do it with this paper. Would probably be okay with that too. Oh, actually that piece might work. Don't think that's long enough for what I want. So yes, I think I might just do it with that paper today. Right, so I'll put the others aside. And I've brought in some gorgeous great cardstock and some thick white. Okay, so the thick white, we're going to start with a piece of thick white. And that is 10.5 centimetres by 29 centimetres. So 10.5 by 29. And I've got another piece of thick white, which is 10.5 by 10.5. Right, I'll bring my trimmer in and we will do some scoring. So this one here is 29, so we want to score it in half, which is 14.5 centimetres. So I'll just pull the little leg of my trimmer out and I will put this in and score it at, so I want to score it 10.5 for a start. I didn't need the leg out, did I? Right, 10.5 and make sure. Oh, grab my trimmer without a score it, just a moment. I took my trimmers to the retreat the other day and I came home and I thought, oh, the scoring thing off there is missing, so it's somewhere around. Right, we'll start again. So put that aside. So we're going to go 10.5 first of all, which is there. So we'll score that. And then 14.5. So that's halfway on your cardstock. Okay, that's all we need to do with that. So we're going to fold it forward. Use a bone folder to do that. Right, we'll put those aside. Now I'm going to need some gorgeous grape. So for the gorgeous grape, I need a piece that is 10 centimetres by 10 centimetres. So we'll just go 10 centimetres by 10 centimetres. And I will have 2 of those. Then I need a 10 centimetres by 3.5 centimetres. Okay, right, perfect. Now I'm also going to need a piece of white. Grab some, and I didn't have this ready, did I? So I'm going to cut that at 9.5 centimetres by 9.5 centimetres. Right, that's that's that. And my piece of designer series paper, so this, I want this at 20 centimeters, so I do need to pull the leg out for that. So that has to be 20 centimeters, and I think that's about 20. Just about, there we go. And that's going to be 20 centimeters by 10 centimeters. Right, that's our piece with that. Right, I'll put all these other little bits and pieces aside that I don't need at this stage. Okay, and I will put my, oh no, I need this. So the thing that we're going to do with our designer series paper, we need to do some scoring on that. So we're going to score every centimetre all the way along. Now with these trimmers, because you've got measurements above your cutting and scoring line and below, sometimes when you're doing small measurements, it's easier to go above. So that's 1 centimetre. So remember, when you're scoring designer series paper, you need to be careful that you don't press down too hard. Now what I use a lot, so you can use your trimmer like that, but I use another product that Stampin Up have, and it is our scoreboards. So this is my scoreboard, especially for a project like this. It comes all in inches. And I've brought the metric plate which goes on it, so you just sit that in place like this. It has a stylus, so you have a thin end and a thick end. So I always use the thick end with designer series paper, and you just go from the top. Oops, much easier if you're standing below it than trying to do it backwards, but we'll keep going and see how we go. So there we go. So we're going to do 1 centimetre all the way along. And for the ladies who came to this class, they'll know exactly what I'm making. Oh, I went crooked again then. I do this so often, and I can just go all the way along, but it's quite strange doing it backwards for you. But I want you to be able to see how it is done. So I find using the scoreboard like this is a lot quicker than using my trimmer when I'm in scoring all those measurements. Right, that is that. So we'll put that aside. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the side that you want facing. So we could do it with that side, but I love this side. So we're going to go, because that's the side that I want to see, we're going to go that side, and then you're going to zigzag it all the way to the end. Okay. And you can bone fold every single one, but you don't really need to, okay? We've got really good score lines there. And this designer series paper is amazing. It is really thick. Okay, it's not a thin, flimsy designer series paper. It is really thick. And it's great quality. And it's great to use for a project like this. So I'm just zigzagging all the way to the end. Like that, and then you'll press down with your bone folder like that, and that's like that. Right, so I'm just going to put that aside for now, and we're going to do the rest of our pieces on here. So we are going to fold this back. So this is our base. Okay, now I'm going to use 2 pieces, maybe 3 pieces. No, 2 pieces. I'm going to emboss these 2. So I'll bring in my cutting and embossing machine, and I need the large one. And I'm going to stand up because it's much easier. And I'm using this embossing folder. So this one here is in Celebration, and Celebration finishes very soon. So it's such a shame to see it going. This is the Starstruck embossing folder that you can earn for free with a $125 order. So I'm going to use that, and because it's one of our thin embossing folders, all you need to do is you put your pieces in there, and you have to put this between 2 clear plates. So if you've got one of our machines, it shows you on here how the sandwiches go, and because this is the standard embossing folder, you have a number 1, which is this one, And then you have 2 clear plates, and you always sandwich your embossing folder between the plates, otherwise your embossing folders start to curl. Okay, so we'll put that through there like that. Perfect. Right, move that aside. Now, okay, let's see what's happening. I'm just going to turn my thing here sideways so I might be able to see right what's going on. Oh, there you go. I've got a few people joining me today. That's great. Right, so now our piece here, I'm going to attach this one here with the embossed image on it. So we'll put that on with our Stampin' Seal, just like so. And then I'm going to bring in this beautiful ribbon. So it's a ribbon that I love. It's a sheer in white, which is great. So I'm going to attach that to here. So I'll just snip some of that off. And I need to attach it underneath here. So I'll just put that there and that there. I'm just going to attach the ribbon. And then I would have used, I might actually just grab, just a moment, some tear and tape. I forgot to grab that before I started. I might just put some tear and tape along the ends there just to hold that ribbon in place, because sometimes it can slide. So I'll put that across the ends like that. Right, get my Pick Me tool, peel the backs off there and off there, and then we will push that down like so. Okay, right, that's that one. Now the next thing we're going to do is inside here. So that's what I've got, the other 10 centimetre by 10 centimetre piece. And I've got this little white, which is 9.5 by 9.5. So I feel like I want to put something on there. So out of our painted lavender set, we've got some beautiful images, but we've got these cute little butterflies. So I think I'm just going to use the butterflies. Grab a block and my gorgeous grape. And I'm just going to stamp that across on the corner there like so. Okay, and the other thing that I'm going to stamp, I've got the happy birthday. So this is from Loveliest Tree, and I've got a little piece of scrap here. So I'm just going to stamp that on there like that. Okay, and I've just realised one of the measurements I haven't done, and now I've attached my card, but that's okay. We can make that work. It's funny how sometimes you just got to rearrange things and make it work. Right, so that's going to go onto there. So we'll do that first. So just like that. Put that onto there. So you've got a really nice border. And then we're going to do this. And we're going to place that in there like so. Right, perfect. Now, I forgot to do a score line on here, so I needed to score it across here. So that's fine, because what I can do now is I can use my ruler here, put my ruler at that point down the bottom and that point at the top, and I can just use my stylus. I'll use the thin end and just score like that. So just do that. And that will give me a score line, so we can fold it back. I need it to go that direction. But there you go. And then we just use the bone folder. Good. So this is going to be a corner easel card, as you can probably work out now. And with the happy birthday, I'm going to punch that out with a double oval punch. Now, I know we don't have this anymore, but it is amazing. I love it. So I use it all the time still. And I really hope they bring it back, because that would make my day. But you know, you never know what's around the corner. So at the moment, I'm going to use that. So I'm just going to put the happy birthday onto the scallop oval. Do that. And then I'm going to use dimensionals. And we'll just put a couple of dimensionals behind there. And we will pop that up. So what's going to happen is that is going to pop up and that's going to hold our easel up. Okay. Right. So that's that part. Now, for our next part, remember I said to you I had a thick piece of white, which was 10.5 by 10.5. And I have embossed this piece of gorgeous grape. So I'm going to put that on top of that. Right, a bit more down there. So we'll just center that onto there. Now it's really hard when you're putting your cardstock through embossing folders and embossing it. Sometimes it will stretch in a different direction, so it may not end up perfectly lined up like it would have originally, but that's fine. It is just what it is. And that is going to be attached just to that triangle there. Now, because that's one of our main parts of our card, I do like to use tear and tape for those bits, okay? Because that's the main part that holds it up. And there will be a little bit of weight on here when we finish, so I'll do that. So just all the way around that triangle. And then you are going to use your Pick Me tool to take the tape off all the way around. I know, Anne, I love that set of stamps and dies too. It's going to be really sad when the new catalogue comes out because I don't think it's going to stay any longer because we've had it for a while now. So I'm really going to miss it. Oh, I've got a few people there today. That's great. Oh, Alison, you've been for a swim. That sounds like a great thing to be doing. So that's our little corner easel. Now, what I'm going to put on that, I'm going to bring back in this designer series paper that I had before. And as you can see, I've done all the folds. So I'll just give it another press down with the bone folder. And this is where, if you're at home and you've got a friend, it does make it easier. So we're going to make a fan, okay? So I'm just going to bring some of this beautiful ribbon, because I love this ribbon, and I'm going to show you that you can actually do it by yourself, because I have to do these things by myself all the time, because I haven't got a friend here today to help. So just tie that, and then I'll make a little bow. I'm really bad. I try really hard not to waste ribbon, but sometimes I make it very hard on myself when I'm trying to tie a bow, because I think, oh, I don't need that much. Then it's hard work. There we go. So that's my bow on top of my ribbon, on top of my fan. So I will just snip those pieces off like so. Right, and to attach that onto there, we're going to use glue dots to attach that, okay? So let's see what we can do here. So here's my glue dots. Now, as you probably know, you can put your cardstock onto your glue dot like that and then lift it off. But sometimes the glue dots get a bit stuck, so you do have to be a bit careful. But they do attach quite easily to this because it's quite a thick DSP. So I'll do that one and do another one there. So there's a couple on each side. And then we want some down the bottom here. Now that's a bit harder to get them to attach sometimes because it's ribbon and stuff. We'll try it. But otherwise, if you have trouble doing it that way, see, that wasn't too bad. Just use your Pick Me tool to pick up your glue dots and then just pop them there onto the base of your fan, okay? And don't be stingy. A few extra glue dots makes it worthwhile if it's going to help it to stay, okay? Right, then all we're going to do is we're going to position that at the bottom like that. I'm going to bring this side over to here and this side over to here. And that's our little fan on our little pop-up easel card, just like that, which is quite cute. Okay, so quick and easy card. quite beautiful. I love these colours. Then, you know, you could do lots of different things. We could bring in some little gems. So rhinestones are great. I love rhinestones. So I might just put a couple of the medium ones on each side here just to give it a little bit of sparkle. Got a little bit of sparkle with the ribbon. You can do all sorts of things. You could tie a little knot in here. So sometimes instead of tying a bow on something like that, all I do is I thread the ribbon underneath and then just tie a knot like that, and then just cut that off. So it makes it look a little bit more fancy, but it's a place that you don't need a bow as such. So just tying the knot in there makes it look a bit better. So yeah, so that is my little corner easel fan card. Okay, now I did this in a class for specialty, and it was a great way of using up some designer series paper. Okay, really, really good way of doing that. And I'll show you the one that we made in class, because we used another set of paper from Celebration. So this is one we did, very bright and colourful, but really cute way of using that paper. The corner easel card, which is great, but this is how we made it. So this is my card today, my little lovely Perennial Lavender little fan card. You could do all sorts of things. You could add extra rhinestones here and there. You can do lots and lots. You could put little pictures if you want on. You could stamp other images if you wanted to. But I think sometimes simple and is really beautiful. So I love the little butterflies. They're cute. Right, so that's my card for today. Okay, what else is happening in Helen's world? I will grab some cards and show you for the weekend's class. So just bear with me. I'll just grab them. I should have had them ready actually. So we have a set. I'm back. I'm running. I'm back. Right, we have a set of designer series paper. Floral Delight. Now, Floral Delight is amazing. Very yellow. Daffodil Delight. Those are the colourings. As you can see, I've been cutting flowers out of some of these sheets, but they're really nice on the back as well. So that's the Floral Delight, and it comes with a pack of vellum as well. So the 3 different patterns in the vellum. So this is what we're using for class this weekend, and I'll show you some of the cards we're making. So this is one of them. This is another one. And look at these gorgeous little bumblebees. Aren't they sweet? So they're part of that Floral Delight suite. There's another card. So this is using the heart from Celebration, which I'm really going to miss. This is one using the vellum and the little bumblebees and the dies. And then this one here is another one using the vellum. So this uses this blue floral vellum and then the little check vellum inside. So that's a cute little card as well. And this is the last one. So this is just a cute little fancy fold card. It opens out like that, and then you've got this place in here to write. So that's going to be lots of fun. I'm looking forward to catching up with everyone this weekend to create those cards. If you create a card like I created today with the little corner easel fan card, please send me a photo. I love to see what everyone makes. It's really nice to see the different designer series papers people use, or different colour combinations. I really appreciate anyone that sends photos in of their projects that they've made. And thank you to the ladies who shared last week. It was really nice to see your cards come through. Right, so that's me for this week. Look forward to catching up with you again next week at 2 p.m. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at reading the comments. I'm too busy trying to create and trying to show you things, but I will have a look through the comments later and I'll make some comments back. Okay, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. If there are any questions you have about the card I've made or the products I've used, please contact me, okay? And you can go to my page, which is www.helenmckeown.stampinup.net if you're interested in looking at any of the products that we've used today. Right, that's me for today. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to catching up with you again next week at 2 p.m. That's me for now. I'll see you then. Bye for now.